Welcome, one and everyone. It is Stone Soup Poetry. I am your Stone Soup Captain, Chad Parento. Our feature tonight is poet, author, all around good guy, recommended by Stone Soup alum Mary Jennings, Mr. Donald Fisher. I love getting introduced to new people. So, Donald, it is a great pleasure to have you tonight. Generally, we have the open mic and then the feature. The During a feature, the open mics only go up once. We do the double round robins when it's a featureless open mic, and I hope to announce at least one, if not two, next features for October. And hoping to have a good time, and hope with the choices this year, and also hoping to announce the horathon submissions for um, for 2025 at oddballmagazine.com. The short of it for submissions, we're tired of goose, ghosts, and goblins. Give us something really fucking scary, like outside your house. And you can think about it that way. Um, and we'll go from there. Send your serial killer poems somewhere else, unless it's about an actual serial killer, I guess. But we
Do you,
will.
do you want those serial killer poems as a sonnet?
Hmm. If the serial killer lines up all the bodies, he could form the words of a sonnet. I'm liking where we're going with this, but we'll talk later, sir. We'll talk. Banners for this year's Horathon supplied by Mr. Robert Fleming. And enough of that. Let's get to the open mic. The Remninator 5000 has elected to have selected for the number one poet. Well, let's give her props now as a past feature for this month of September, and the one was partially responsible for tonight. Tonight's feature. Let's say fully responsible for the recommendation. Let's say Mary Jennings. Uh-oh, you're muted. There you go.
There I go. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Chad, and welcome once again to Dawn. Um, yeah, who saved my life when I was running the um, poetry poetry open mic at the library, um, and he's done well with it too. All right. Now I'm going to read "Reluctancy of Devotion." Up to your neck in being co-opted, adapted, inspected, disinfected, suspected, ejected, written off into the void. There is a reluctancy of devotion, never the right part to begin with. Best years of your life spent trying to be encompassed into the works, proving yourself worthy to be part of the cohesive unit. Unity, they proclaim. If none, who's to blame? Now that you're out, you're crying, where's the rest of me? Hold your head high, the only thing that's left of you. Be glad of that somehow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. Let's move on to the next person on the open mic. Kate Schaefer, Kate Lee, if you're and Robin, if you're interested in reading, let me know in the comment section. If you're here just to listen, that's great too. Let's go now to Mr. Bill Lewis.
Okay, must begin with killing. I'm a serial killer. Take that. Take that. Okay, sorry, Chad. I just felt you put me up to that. How could you turn an opportunity like that down? Good God. Just a second, just a second. Ahem, ahem, ahem. Oh, no wonder I can't read. The Petting Zoo. I played clarinet in high school. I wasn't terribly good at it, but I enjoyed it and even made the district honor band. I continued to play in college, but was shuttled to the bass clarinet and later to the bassoon. where a warm body was more important than a talent. I put it down after graduation, and I didn't even touch a clarinet until I moved to Boston at the age of 50. I joined the Boston Symphony Orchestra's volunteer group and enjoyed the occasional free concert while working in the shop during intermissions. A call went out for people to work at the Cartoon Festival, a family-oriented event, and especially for people who could play a little bit and introduce children to the instrument. I figured I could do that. Each year, the BSO has a few of these family events where they play kid-friendly music and give tours and have some entertainment. And the Instrument Petting Zoo. The Instrument Petting Zoo, the IPZ, were the creation of Christine, a lovely gal in her mid-80s with a slight case of Parkinson's. She had collected a pile of old violins, cellos, flutes, etc., which she refurbished well enough so that they basically worked. She'd haul these down to Symphony Hall and set them up for in a conference room. Then we'd come in, put everything together, and teach legions of 4 to 12-year-olds to produce sounds. Oh, it called for lots of patience, enthusiasm, and a little bit of talent. I had no one to tell me what to do, but I fairly quickly developed an effective approach. A typical session went something like this. Your name must be, I make a pretense of having ESP. Katie! No, my name's not Katie, it's Abby. Are you sure you're not a Katie? You look like a Katie. Oh, I don't look like a Katie. She laughs and I laugh and her mom laughs. Now I take out the instrument and I put my thumb in my mouth and I tell her to do the same. Teeth on the upper part and only your lip on the bottom. Now blow. She mimics me timidly, and I encourage her, blow harder! And she puffs and laughs and blows harder and giggling. Then I take the mouthpiece off, and I tell her to do the same thing with the clarinet mouthpiece. She tries it a couple of times and gives a squawk. Wow! I congratulate her. Do it again. She squawks a few more times, and I produce a funny sound like, and I say, oh, you sound like a duck. She laughs, and her mom laughs, and her dad laughs, and all the other kids laugh. When she's gotten a really good squawk out of it, I put the clarinet back together, and I take her right thumb. No, the other right thumb. Ha, 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 ha. And I show her how to trill the A key. And she loves it. She's smiling. She's successful. I take the clarinet back. She gives me a high five and heads off to the next instrument. And so it goes, child after child, through the day. The last kid up, she was about 8, and her mother encouraged her for the clarinet, but she didn't want to do it. And I gave my biggest, brightest smile. Oh, are you sure you don't? It's so much fun. I gave it a thought for a moment and turned to her and said, well, would you like your mommy to try it? Oh, yes, she would. She liked that idea. I said, okay, here's the deal. Mommy does it this time. Next year, you come back and you do it. She's all thumbs up. Her mommy takes it. Her mommy does it. We all laugh. She had a great time. And life is beautiful. Chad.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome the surprise. He came in a little late, but I don't know how long he has with us because he's visiting family in parts more unknown than the parts he came from. The poet of Three Rivers is here with us to do a quick open mic spot. Let's welcome up Richard Spizak. Oops, I can help you with the unmute.
Did you
There you go.
invite me to the mic, sir?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'll be glad to do my little piece and then salute the captains of the show. This is called Fun at El Aeropuerto. It's a tribute. There's a wonderful poem by Alice Funn at the fair where he describes a trip via rail to a wonderful fair at Nizhny Novgorod. And this is my little send up of the same idea, but this is my experience at the airport. Oh, if you'd really like to see 10,000 happy hopping types of humanity. Soldiers, sailors, pretty young misses, babies, daddies, mommies, all doodered up in finery laid out in line. Strollers and wagons and people with bikes, wheelchairs racing right up to the security checkpoint. Yikes! Corporate executives traveling with secretaries, not wives, honeymooners on their merry way to start their lives. College students, corporate drones, students all moon-eyed and yearning for home, kids who are chasing kids that are chased, pretzel eaters by the lunch counters all lined up saying grace. Amish mothers in bonnets, ingenues in faux leopard fur, students retelling tall tales of sport victories, elders reminding me of things that were. Tall cowboys in 10-gallon hats, elderly blue-haired ladies carrying cute little plastic Barbie doll cages full of award-winning, otherwise wayward cats. Sports teams just off the field, medicos on parade, a team so dedicated insurance conglomerates couldn't keep them off the field. In unrelated news, and there were their views. Ski enthusiasts, scuba divers, high-altitude climbers, retired prospectors, and bowling teams on a tear, trying out massaging recliners on a dare. People lined up row on row ready to load on in the airplane. They've got somewhere to go. And the janitor gentleman leaning on his mop, he's got hours to go, but he's more than ready to take a nap. Thank you so much. Fun at the airport, though.
For you. Thanks for coming in. Up next, I would like to welcome up Marianne Honecker,
Hello,
with
I'm
or without
taking.
cat.
I don't think she's gonna come over here this time. I'm gonna take a little break from the ABCDarians. This one is called Echo. There's a jaunt in your walk that tells me you were born to the element of air. The cosmos is in the way your voice pulls disparate elements together. They fly apart. The universe is born. Your eyes see beyond surfaces to the fire of each soul. You navigate these fires as you walk through the field of bonfires that is your life. In this field, no fire is superior to the other. They burn red and orange or blue and white. What color was I, your doused flame? I persist in a bed of coals. Your long-fingered hands know a man's work. I step aside and let you happen. I step aside and let you happen. I am engulfed in the rains of your storm. Lightning writes the music the sky plays. Let me be one with you again. A word said in the sky and repeated in a lake. A buck in the tips of its antlers, an anther and stigma, a drop of rain that makes the grass blade lean. We is a word I miss. I sits in a dry canyon alone. We is a set of double doors opening into a bright room where together we care for flowers. We, a pleasant scent. We, not me negated, nor you. It is a hand in a hand. It is footsteps that walk together. I have been sweeping the leaves from the floor of this temple for a decade. My voice echoes in it. Sometimes I mistake the echo for a god. And one more. This is Shadows of the Moon after Jeremy Radin's Song of Songs of Songs of Songs. Your hair is whips of a willow. Your feet find stairs of air and rise. Your eyes are rain-rinsed leaves. Your hands are twin waterfalls. Your fingers are each cirrus clouds. Your lips overflow with diamonds. Your stomach is Saharan sands. Your nipples each tell a prophecy. Your back embraces an entire city. Your arms are braided stems of wheat. Your legs are trails of falling stars. Your ankles hold shadows of the moon. Your nose is an armory of shields. Your cheeks are salted sea stones. Your forehead vaults to contain a city skyline. Your shadow is the hum inside a bee. Your voice is a pine answering the wind. So thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Up next, I'd like to bring up Jan Rowe from the Black Seed Writers Group.
Okay.
Hi. Yeah, it is okay. Um, okay. I kind of read this before, but I added to it. It was in September 16th weekly of the Black Seed Writers. Why we didn't go to the cemetery this visit home 2025. The cemeteries were abandoned last couple visits home, so that's not why we didn't go visit. However, when my older sister, substitute mom, visited soon after we did, my brother and she visited the third cemetery doesn't have tombstones. Also, it's not because Cemetery Road is now closed, as there are two other ways to get to Bridgeport Cemetery. Even in the late 60s, before and after we got our driver's licenses, only one house remained on Cemetery Road. The other houses had collapsed or fallen over the hill towards Jackie's reputed house of prostitution and towards the abandoned coke mines. Coke ovens. The coke ovens where families lived during the Depression around 1930. So lack of visit to abandoned cemeteries could be fear of death. My brother and spouse in their late 60s are raising a 15-month-old, the child of her nephew. The nephew's mom died after black surgery, although an addict. Coal out, opiates in. My brother says she dies of intentional overdose after the surgery, and Uncle Lou in his 90s was calling upstairs for her to wake up, but she was dead. Could have been accidental death. Yes, the oldest people live in the steepest places. Three hills back home in Brownsville, Southwest PA, changed their driving directions in the winter. So it's steep. But with all that alcohol they're drinking and all those cigarettes they're smoking. Thank you.
Nicely done, Jan. Up next, I'd like to bring up Mr. Robert Fleming, our resident visual poet from Delaware,
Thank
who I
you,
need to
Jeff.
get the screen share activated for. And it is activated.
Thank you. So I changed my selections to focus on fish. So this is my haiku about fish, where fish is the only word in the haiku. Fisher fishes fish. Fish finds fisher. Fisher fished. And this is a satire image I did. I think it was the 50s, either the 50s or the 60s, where there was this fad of eating goldfish. And it was very popular on college campuses. So here we have the two goldfish swallowers. And then this is an image of a herring ball, which was created with the filter called Tracer, which you can choose between white and black. And here is a trout created with the filter called Heat Wave, which creates pink and blue. And this is my impressionist whale pod. And here's another whale pod using different types of filters besides impressionism. And I'll just share some activities that are happening for me now in this month. I currently have a digital artwork for sale at Camp Rehoboth, which had an opening last Saturday. The show had an opening. I also helped hang the show. The press, Old Scratch Press, where I'm one of the editors, I'm going to be submitting our Best of the Net submissions by September 30th. And one of my works will be nominated for Best of the Net and a pushcart. I think we did a reading here of it. It's called Hamlet at the Drive-Through Window. And I have several publications this month. Today I had in Four Feathers Press 2 digital arts and 1 poem. And in the middle of October, for Marawi Literature, I'll be having 1 flash fiction and 1 visual art in Pete Smoke magazine, which I'm very excited about. That magazine, over the last 3 years, has consistently been one of the finalists in Best of the Net. So I hope that they will nominate my work, my art, for Best of the Net. And in Blazebox magazine, which is out of New York, the state of New York, I will have 10 visual poems published. So thank you for letting me do a tribute to our feature, who his name is Fish. And to close, I will make the facial feature that a fish makes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. I should mention that the rock band in my office was called the Sturgeon Generals. Love it. I hope there's a YouTube page. Let's see, who do we have next? I'd like to bring up let's bring up Rita Rusty Rose.
Thank you. Thank you. That was great, Rob. I loved that. The pod, the whale pod. This is procrastination. I dawdle over coffee, stare at my laptop on kitchen table. She sits there, rock solid, looking back at me. One bright eye, cool, sleek, gleaming gray. Months have passed since I pulled up a seat, shared ideas, chatted with her. A nascent spark allows my hands to roam wittingly across her characters. Left index finger over F, right index over U. She whines, flirts, accommodates. I retreat. Tomorrow I shall try again, but for now I sip, smile, and stare. Thank you.
Bravo, Rita, and congratulations on your nomination. I believe it's for Best Poet.
Yes, thank you. Don't forget to vote. If you're on my Facebook, October 1st, I'll put up the link. Thank you.
Very good. Are we carpetbaggers then? I'm not from New York. I'm allowed to vote.
Yes, you are. I've had votes all the way from Africa.
Yeah. Wow. Well, good luck with that. Let's go now to our favorite poet, fiction writer, and satirist, or one of them at any rate, Mr. John Wesick.
Okay, so we're on the third part of the Divine Parody. It's called the Comedic Paradisical, and the poet Jonte has won a ride on a space plane. The bus dropped me off at the Antananarivo spaceport, where the security staff processed me with typical African efficiency. I was unsure whether I'd get lunch on the space plane, so I bought a turkey sandwich and China green tips tea at the Starbucks. The space plane only had 5 passengers, but the airport authorities simulated typical airline waiting areas by packing us into a cramped janitor's closet. Needless to say, I got quite close to my fellow astronauts. Siku Mutu, former president of the Central African Empire, sweated through his three-piece suit while sitting on an upended steel bucket. A gold Rolex dangled from his wrist as he held the slim cell phone to his ear while conversing with his London brokers. The other passengers, his 3 wives, could have graced the cover of Vogue or Cosmopolitan. Sadly, uniformed agents of the International Criminal Court burst into the room and hauled the former president away before I could experience his famous sense of humor. Rather than continue on with the space flight, his wives left to work for their dear husband's release, as well as the release of the funds from his numerous Swiss bank accounts. Even though I was now the only passenger, I stood next to the mop until it was time to present my boarding pass and walk through the jetway onto the space plane. I took my seat and set my green tea in the cup holder by the armrest without giving much thought to the mess the liquid could make in 0G. Surely they would have said something if this were a problem. While the flight attendant performed her mandatory safety demo, I savored the delicious emerald liquor. Ah, green tea, green the color of precious jade, green of the mountains of China, Hebei province, where the Great Wall perches like a sinuous body of a dragon. Green as in all systems go. The powerful engines spooled as the space plane took off like an ordinary jetliner and turned east toward the Indian Ocean. Moments later, a voice came over the intercom. This is your caption, Dusty Wyckoff. We're presently climbing to 65,000 feet where we'll shut down the air-breathing engine and fire up the rocket boosters. We're using a new oxidizer on this flight. I anticipate it will boost our maximum altitude past the 65 miles we had been getting so far. So sit back and enjoy your trip into outer space. We cruised for another 30 minutes before the cabin went silent at shutdown. Without the comforting white noise of the jets, I felt a moment of panic, but only a moment. Soon the space plane rattled with the rocket engine's roar. Inertia pressed me against the seat back as it accelerated. The sky outside my window grew black, and I could see the horizon curve. The rockets cut out, and I drifted weightless and silent. Spherical blobs of tea escaped through the opening in my cup's lid and floated like strange planets in the cabin. Enthralled as I was in the scene outside the window, the last thing I expected was for my face to slam into the seat in front of me. I shook my head, blinked, and touched my sore nose to see if anything was broken. Oxygen masks dropped from the overhead compartment and dangled like grim yellow Christmas ornaments, but there was no decompression in the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Dusty Wyckoff. We seem to have collided with some sort of barrier. What the hell? Someone was knocking on the hatch. The flight attendant got out of her seat and looked through the window. Oh my God! She put both hands to her mouth. I went to look. An angel, complete with halo, harp, and wings, hovered outside. Guess we'd better let him in. The flight attendant opened the hatch. Instead of a cold vacuum that would suck the air from our lungs and boil our blood, the atmosphere outside consisted of warm air that smelled of fresh hay and apple blossoms. The angel entered. He stood about 7 feet tall, had golden hair, and wore a shining white tunic. Mr. Jonte, I'm here to escort you to heaven. This way, please. He grabbed me around the waist and we flew from the cabin. From outside, it was clear what had happened. The space plane was stuck like a dart in cork to the inner surface of an enormous sphere. Not far away, the Hubble Space Telescope hung from an overhead crane. A cluster of angels hovered around its opening with a slide projector that showed pictures of planets and stars. We flew on until we arrived at a platform that protruded from the upper surface. Just take those stairs. The angel pointed to some marble steps leading up from the platform. You don't mind if I get going, do you? Have a lot of custom consistency checks to perform for the Cosmic Background Explorer data. Have a pleasant stay. He flew off. I climbed the stairs and ended up in a classroom where a man in a black cassock lectured on the geocentric theory and Catholic doctrine. With nothing else to do, I sat in back, but soon was squirming in the uncomfortable wooden chair. Excuse me, a woman burst into the room. I'm looking for Mr. Jonte. Right here. I stood and followed her out. Sorry I'm late, she spoke in a high-pitched clipped tone. I thought you'd be arriving at section 050 magazines, journals, and serials, but your pilot changed course at the last minute. She wore a loose 1920s dress with a long pearl necklace. Her big eyes and dark eyebrows looked familiar, but I'd seen her picture in an old sepia photograph. What's with the classroom? I asked. As you know, heaven means different things to different people. For some, it means having their beliefs confirmed. Not for you, though. You want something more literary. I recognized her then. She was Laura Riding Jackson, who abandoned writing poetry in 1939 because it couldn't express the truth she wanted to tell. She led me through a narrow hallway and into a giant library where book stacks the length of freight trains stretched into the distance and dipped below the horizon. Heaven contains all the books that have been written. Sphere Zero is not terribly exciting unless you're doing research, he said. It does hold the issues of the American Drivel Review that published some of your stories, though. I think you might like to browse religion in Section 2, science in Sphere 5, or literature in Sphere 8. Wait a minute. I stopped walking. You're telling me that heaven is organized by the Dewey Decimal System? Well, we thought of adopting the Library of Congress classifications, but reshelving all written knowledge would take too much effort. In any case, stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of The Divine Parody.
It was like the gift that keeps on giving. A little musical interlude now, bringing him up a little early. If the pulse of the poetry scene would like to play, Mr. Ethan Meckler.
I'm sorry, could you go to someone else right now?
Okay. Blackbird, looks like you're up. Do you want to be up? Black.
Hi.
Hello, would you like to read?
Sure.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Blackbird, by her latest album. Welcome to my journey.
Hello. Hi, guys. Yes, it's welcome to the number 2, My Journey. It's black, so it's separate. Black and then the bird, like as you see on the screen. And the THA poet. So it's on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Miss Mary Jennings, aren't you like an author? I think I've seen your name somewhere before in like several books. I don't know.
Meat for Tea. That's the magazine out of this area. I've been on Oddball Magazine, and I've
Oh,
read here several times.
okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. No problem. All right. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm gonna read. This is my latest poem. It's not on the album, but it will be out. eventually. So it is called White Knuckles. It's a recovery poem. I mean recovery. Oh, Chad, guess what? 72 days clean tonight. Ah! Oh, and Rita, yep, because she was supporting me in that too. Thank you, thank you. Let me sit up. Because I was like lazy, just like listening to everybody. Now you got me sitting up. Ah! All right. I want change, but I'm afraid of changing. Is that the alcohol talking, or is that me talking down to me? Because me has no confidence in myself, or do I? You see, I've gained these white knuckles so much by holding on to this bottle to the point that my hands are so sore from clutching to it so tight. If my knuckles were bleeding, I wouldn't care. I would let it heal for a little while and then go right back to holding on to that bottle again. Insanity. I'm contradicting myself so much that I am confused. In my mind, I am this perfect woman with a wonderful family, great career as an artist and an actress. Oh my gosh, look at me again. Clutching on to this bottle is 3:42 a.m. I'm in disillusion again. Because in reality, I don't have a perfect family. I'm an alcoholic, just like my mom. And I recently lost her. How do I grieve correctly when someone you love so much is gone due to their own brokenness? How do I forgive others when I can't even forgive myself? Resentment plays a big part. But I'm learning to forgive, just can't forget. White knuckling through daily life is such pure insanity. I wish I had the answer. But I'm still trying to figure it out. I just want to get better, be a better version of myself, get rid of these white knuckles that's holding me captive, and set my hands free. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blackbird. Check out her album. I've linked it at the Stone Soup Facebook group page. Looks like Ethan might be ready. Take it away, sir. You want to hear him play the keyboard? Check out any random number of Controverse open mics, which are taking place in Malden if you live locally. Maybe I'll bring the keyboard here someday. But it was a revelation to hear him recently. Let's go now to the person who will close for us before we get to the features. Been waiting for all his work. I'm glad. I know you've been waiting for his. But first, we will close out with Oddball magazine columnist. Check out his poem column. It's all one thing every Thursday at 11 a.m. And let's welcome up Mr. James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. So I have a poem here called Enraptured, 23 September 2025. Since it's raining, making a chalk labyrinth doesn't make much sense when making sense is using nuclear weapons that blow up a rock drifting in orbit that might hit the moon. Spray dust and debris on satellites in orbit around Earth where the mega cult, the patriarchal personality crazed mob are sure that the rapture today, Tuesday, the 23rd of September, will whisk away the saved, leaving the rest of us, the left behind, staring down the barrels of 2 3.5-year intervals of doom and devilish destruction, famine, pestilence, war, and the skull-headed rider death, pale horse revelations, pre-diluvian tides, rising waters all around the desertification, dust swept in hurricanes across the oceans. From dust you came, to dust you will return. In a spinning vortex of tornado, we will spin, 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 spin. Spin it out and spin it in. So labyrinth, concentric, circles, spiral. Spin, 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 spin. Spin it out and spin it in. It's a spin world, a spin world. Watch this curved world unfurl as we spin this twirling world. Thank you.
Without further ado, we have tonight's feature presentation. But first, a little boilerplate about who we're listening to tonight. Many of you are being introduced to him for the first time. Some of you know him. Some of you know him better. I don't know what that means. Let's go to the bio so I can stop talking and trying to ad-lib. Our feature for tonight is Donald Fisher. Don Fisher has been writing poetry, fiction, and nonfiction for 40 plus years. His work has been accepted by dozens of literary magazines. In 2021, his first collection of poems, On the Edge of Grace, was published by Human Error Press. He is currently working on a screenplay about a private detective in a small town in Massachusetts. He also hosts open mic with featured readers 3 times a year at the Chicopee Public Library. Don lives, writes, and reads in Chicopee with his 91-year-old dad, who has always encouraged him. Also feels he should take more walks, but not right now. This is a remote period. I don't want to see a head bouncing in a selfie, on a phone selfie. I'm very excited to hear his work. Of course, I've heard he's doing great things with the Chicopee, as bestowed to him by Mary Jennings. Thanks to Mary for the recommendation. And the rest of you, put your hands together 40, 50 more times for the fish. And 40 more fish emojis from John Wezek.
Thank you very much, Chad. I'm going to start with some selections from the book. This one is called The Creative Process. I can't draw a decent stick man. He mocks me, my not well-drawn man. Wiggles non-existent hips, taunts me, but he's only made of sticks. I point this out. He reminds me I created him. I'm his trickster god. You made me this way, he wails, shaking his thin arms, weeping a puddle of tears collecting at his feet. To make him feel better, I give him a boxy car with not quite round wheels, bumping along the road. My slashing pen gives him birds above, a quarter of a yellow sun peeking from one page corner. From a small house, smoke curls from a chimney. Happy now, so easily pleased. If he gets down again, I will destroy him and his world. I like being a trickster god, controlling something, even only a simple stick man. I love your work, he says. I love you. He dances a happy jig across the page. It doesn't matter that he's crudely drawn. He is something. This is called the Written at the Laundromat. At the laundromat, 7 pairs of eyes stare back. Black corduroys brought to the front, replaced a white t-shirt, pass behind the glass cornea, as close to a wink as I'll get. Animal heart. My heart's a tiger, pacing its cage in slow circles. It rages. I weep in the morning. I don't understand why it won't let my mind crack the whip to make it stand on its hind legs or do stupid tricks for a gaping crowd. My heart does tricks for nobody. It will not stand on its head, saying, I put a spell on you, guzzling a glass of water. I shouldn't weep. Proud of my stubborn heart's refusal to dance, I should go where it leads me. This is called Taking It Back. Her words strangled the air. Excuse me. You're a terrible writer, shallow, stupid. You have nothing important to say. I took back the whole evening, broke apart from her, got up, threw on my clothes. Sitting at the kitchen table, I choked up the delicious dinner she'd made, ass end out the kitchen door, her back to me as she cooked. I took back every nice thing I'd said to her, stuffed them inside to save for someone else. The love poems I wrote for her are trees again. I took back the evening, the whole summer. We even got out of the shower, reapplied sticky bug spray, returned to the fireworks, were purple, red flowers closed up to a stem in the sky and fell back down to earth. This is called Never Lead a Cow Downstairs. There's a little known factoid, and it is that you can lead a cow upstairs, but you cannot lead it downstairs. Have no idea whether or not it's true. Never tried it. When I was young, my father tried to lead a cow downstairs to keep it out of the rain. The animal broke its front legs. Milk ran out of its nose. Later that night, drunk at dinner, Dad warned, never lead a cow downstairs. They will never forgive you. In Dad's later years, I saw he was right. The cow's eyes, once soft and friendly, became hard, accusing. I once enjoyed the feel of your hands on my side, the eyes said. I loved the way they caressed me when you stole my milk. Now I only see hands leading me downstairs. Mother and son. His twin brother, excuse me, small there. Mother and son. His twin brother died at birth. His mother says, "Your dead brother is so handsome, successful. Why can't you be more like him?" "Handsome," the son shrieks. "He never got the chance to be handsome." "I know he was," is the response. "I know when they tore him out of my body, he was handsome. A mother just knows these things." "He's dead," he shouts. The mother shouts back, "and very good at it. There's great integrity in knowing what you are good at and sticking to it. Look at his beautiful tombstone." The wooden bird. A wooden bird hatched from a wooden egg. The mother looked at it, thought, if it fell to the ground and splintered, the pieces would make an excellent nest. Don't judge her. She was not expecting what she got. She was thinking of making a home for a child that would never fly, made of oak, hard, heavy like a door, not balsa, which, if a breeze rose, would be light enough to stay elevated. It moved slower than other birds. When the rains arrived, what then? For all these reasons, the mother bird nudged her wooden offspring from the nest, using the splinters to build a lovely new home that other mother birds envied. "It was made for my wooden child," she would sing. "I loved him. He was beautiful, but wooden. What else could I do?" So, and this one's called For Sutherland Springs. You might remember just one of many, many mass shootings that happened at a church in Texas in the town of Sutherland Springs. This poem came out of that event. I wish I could say it's less relevant now. Unfortunately, not the case. For Sutherland Springs. This poem is not about angels or about devils. It is only about us, our own limitless capacity for good and evil. This poem is not a prayer. It will not change the world or anyone's mind. This poem is shot from a gun, but it doesn't take a life. This poem sits on both sides of the fence. This poem is reasonable, even-minded. It sees both sides of an issue. This poem is fed up. It is a rant, a diatribe. This poem is a spitball launched at God. It is a drop in an endlessly deep bucket. Pock, pock, pock. This poem walks into a church, hands out milk and cookies for everyone. This poem walks into a church and takes a seat like every week. This poem walks into a church. This poem walks into a wall. This poem walks away. Everyone walks away. When? It rained outside. When the sound of it came through open windows, when you lay naked on the bed, when I knelt on the bed by your feet, when I started licking, kissing your toes, worked my way up your arches, heel, calves, knees, the hollow at the back of each knee. There, you moaned, moved like an ocean in a storm. The frozen painter. One summer, the house painter froze in mid-stroke. The people who hired him were already annoyed that he was working too slowly. Now it seemed for certain that he would never finish. They had the idea of moving him, frozen paintbrush and all, to the front yard and to charge money to see him. It was unique, a man going about his days suddenly freezing solid. He inspired people to quit their jobs and do what they really wanted to do. The mailman left his job and wrote a novel. The garbage man stopped collecting trash and devoted all his time to his band. The gardener began to sculpt again, and the piano teacher decided to help the poor instead. And they were all secretly grateful to the frozen painter, who looked beautiful in falling snow, trussed in holiday lights. The curled frozen paintbrush extended upward and ahead of him like a torch. At the Rainbow Cafe Teen Canteen in Chamberlain, South Dakota, 1957. All around you, they dance their own steps, while you dance yours in the middle of the room, an island among all the other jitterbugging kids. T-shirt, black shoes, dangerous crew cut, a half crouch, head cocked, arms out. The others are scared, the pleasure you take in solitude. You don't care. You are in a club in South Dakota. The music is on. Guitar, drums, the hiccup of the rockabilly vocal. Nothing else matters. Okay, that's it for my publication. I've got some newer poems here. This first one, I think it's probably still relevant. I hope so anyway. A lot of you may remember Pat Robertson, the viciously right-wing preacher. Well, this poem is about saying goodbye to Pat Robertson. It's called Saying Goodbye to Pat Robertson. It sounds harsh, but I will dance on his grave. It will be worth the drive to his tombstone. There will be a long line of dancers waiting. I will tamp the dirt down, leave an imprint of the soles of my Adidas. Maybe a tango with a lovely woman who has had several abortions, or better yet, another man. I'll unzip, pull out my pecker, pour one out for all my homies, then go home satisfied, knowing that I did the right thing. This is called Punkette. In the car next to me, stopped at the light. Riot Girl thrash coming out the window, lean, energetic, poppy, punky. I turned on a podcast to hear more. In the passenger seat, same car, a teenage girl, magenta hair, gloriously tattooed right arm extended out the window, holding a lit cigarette as if she didn't have a fuck to give. I caught her eye, quickly looked away. All I wanted was the name of the band. I hesitated. The light went green. When I was a little bit older than her, I shunned the mosh pit, stayed on the outskirts, never dove in. Told myself being a closet punk was even more subversive. I told myself black leather, torn shoes, torn t-shirt, safety pin through the cheek, just another costume, like an Izod shirt and Dockers. But I get it. Screw with people. Their ideas, even my own, of what she should be. Back then, I didn't know anything except what I loved. That was enough. This I only wrote a couple weeks ago. It's still kind of raw, but I liked it enough to feel I was comfortable reading it tonight. It's called 67. When I was a kid, I didn't think about getting older. I would look at my parents and couldn't even imagine being them. As a result, I was lost at 22, but who isn't? I turned 50. Younger people looked at me for wisdom. I would look at them, say, I'm just getting started. I don't know anything. They would look back, startled or amused. It didn't matter to me how they felt. I felt honesty was the best advice I could give them. Maybe now in their 30s, early 40s, they might get it. Now I would tell them that what is good is very good. I would also tell them that this 67th year is the first one where I have felt my age. I take trazodone at night, strap a plastic mold to over my nose, forced air flows in, and the CPAP stores my dreams on an iCloud. I watch and review them the next day. I drink chamomile with vanilla an hour before bed. My memory sucks. I don't drink after a certain hour of the day because an hour later I would not be able to keep my eyes open. I joke with these older, sometimes wiser kids. I use the word straight edge to describe myself. I gave all my weed, papers, a hash pipe to a coworker who looked at me like I was Santa Claus on Christmas morning. But the good stuff, oh my, country music, the sound of a pedal steel guitar, other people's words, other people in general, woman of an appropriate age, oh my. Made my day. The deer standing in the road this morning as I drove into the parking lot at work, well, it made my day. My mood was good. I spent the day putting out fires, which I don't mind doing as long as I can resolve them. Even when the solution starts a new fire. Still, I am exhausted tonight. A little bit of spittle from me. It fizzles. I am left with white smoke. It dissipates quickly, stinging no one's eyes. I wave my hands and it is gone. It feels good. With a little kindness, some flirting, and a little BS, I can get people to give me what I need to do my job. It does get tiring, of course, and I need to learn to let go once the day is done. I need to let go, period, of everything. If I did that outside, it would make the birds, the squirrels, the rabbits choke, maybe feel bad about themselves. They eat, shit, sleep. Predators are a problem, but they are stronger than we are. Same goes for plants and trees. They will survive. So will I, for a while longer, I hope. I don't need to learn to swim or drive a stick. Plus, there are fires to put out. Feel better once they are out. I had time to do that today, plus my regular task. And I saw a deer, a big, beautiful doe. We stared at each other for a moment. Then she disappeared into brush so thick you would hardly believe she could penetrate it. It made my day. Okay, this is entitled, Who Says You Have to Be Nice All the Time? A middle finger raised up is a beautiful thing. The other digits stay out of the way, thumb holding them down, tucked down. They love their middle brother, his simplicity, his bluntness. He says the things they wish they could. They blush, giggle at his audacity. My own middle fingers don't think I used him enough. They're probably right. Who says you have to be nice all the time? The middle finger stands proudly in front, the first thing you see as you pass me on the street, because my middle finger refuses to use the sidewalk. That's what the norms do, he snarls. Are you a norm? Yeah, sometimes I mumble, when it's necessary. I mean, would you flip off a dude twice my size? Absolutely, he responds. But he's not the one who's going to get pounded on. No, he just wails, flails around helplessly like the short, ineffectual arms of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I love my middle finger, but he's a bit of a dick. I don't trust him always. He's the guy who says something to get people going, then disappears when a fight starts. But I need him. Who says you have to be nice all the time? This one's called Three Buddhas. There are 3 Buddhas on the shelf above my desk. I don't know what they mean. I just think they look cool. But I am down with a deity so out of shape. I think he would be a little less judgy. Every time I see a picture of Christ, he looks like a Swedish tennis star. So thin, I want to give him a sandwich. I look at Buddha's round face, protruding belly, cherubic grin. His left hand rests on one knee, dangling a necklace of beads. His robe is pulled down over his massive shoulders like a film noir femme fatale. For a big guy, he seems comfortable, sitting with his legs crossed. I don't know, he just looks happy, like someone who wouldn't flip out if he saw you fondling yourself or reading our bodies ourselves. He would chuckle and shake his head. You do you. He would appreciate that I flunked religion in 7th grade in parochial school. He is 4 inches high. He is heavy. He is cool to the touch. His bottom is flat. I rest it against my forehead. It feels good, like it would cure a headache. I have a great niece who is 2.5 years old, and I've got one poem about her, and I'm still not sure I've got it to where I want it to be, but I'm going to read it anyway because she's the best. I adore her. Ramona at Salisbury Beach. I sift multicolored sand, brown, tan, red, black granules between my fingers. I don't like the beach when the sun is beating down. Today, beautiful gray steel storm clouds, north, south of me, but the rain holds off. My great niece tears around on the sand, chasing the gulls, shouting, clenching her fist, daring the rain to start or us to stop her. Hesitant at first, she did not like the feel of sand on the soles of her tiny feet, or the pounding surf, or a combination of the two. She has fear. At the same time, she asked that we put her down again and again. Used the sign language for the word more that her mother taught her. She has fear. She doesn't have a word for it yet. So she doesn't trust the feeling. Her father gently puts her back on the sand. I watch her amazed and think to myself, this child is going to be okay. I have no idea what I am basing that on. like I can control anything that happens to her. And last but not least, this is a poem about my grandfather who died when I was 3, and I have very little memories of, but Bud Sr. I heard stories. He rode the rails to Detroit, worked as a short order cook for less than a year, came back to Western Massachusetts, met my grandmother. He could be funny, break wind, then say, that dog has been following me around all day. Secondhand stories are all I have, someone else's memories. Like the time he was blind drunk in a bar, grabbed a stool, swung at anyone who got close. Someone called his brother, chief of police. When he arrived, Grandpa Fisher put down the stool, left quietly. From this, I can gather that sometimes he knew when to stop. He saw through Senator Joe McCarthy right away. Everyone who disagrees with this asshole is his enemy. He died when I was 3. Back then, I didn't know what love, loss, and grief were. There are pictures. I have images. I put the images I have of him from them into the stories I hear. Like when I was 2 or 3, at his feet, I played with the Velcro on his sneakers and made him laugh. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
And now 40 rounds of applause for 40 pieces of fish, 40 and 40 loaves for Don Fisher. Damn it, John, how do you always have the perfect emoji? Is that like a downloadable app? Good Lord. I can barely get the smiling up.
No, see,
So,
you just look at the react button and look at the 3 dots, and it shows beside it, and it pulls
here
it
we
up.
go.
Thank you, everyone.
My word. So is the book available online for purchase, your first collection?
Absolutely. You can go to bookshop.org. It's also available on Amazon, but since Bookshop supports the independent bookstores, that
I'll
would be
put a
my
link to that
preferred
tomorrow.
solution.
Thank you so much. And this was fantastic. And
Thank you.
I hope this is the beginning of a continued presence here at Stone Soup. You fit right in with a lot of us here. I think you would agree, and the ones who don't think you fit in are gonna shut up. No. I think you're an amazing match, and I hope we see you on occasion. Um, this is a great meetup, and your work's fantastic, and I hope you get more
Thank you.
publications
Thank
and
you
more
very
books
much.
out.
Thank
And
you,
when's the
everyone.
next where's the next reading at the library for those who are out in
It
that
is
area?
going to be, hang on, let me check my calendar here. It is going to be Tuesday, October 14th. A playwright from a nearby city of the nearby town, rather, of Long Meadow is going to be reading. And it's great. I love doing it. I'm going to be doing it until I'm 6 feet under. It's a blast. So you should come.
I said the same thing about this. Be careful. You wish. But you seem to like it, so keep
Yeah.
keep on doing that, and it's fantastic. And I hope to have John Weswick asked if you said Walnetto. I don't. Oh, he said Long Meadow.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting
Yes.
him.
Mhm.
Because I'm old enough now, and I realize there's so much of this state I haven't seen. If there was a Walnetto, I don't think I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for your work, and I
Mhm.
hope people
Thank you.
grab your book after this, and I hope
I do too.
your series continues to grow as well as your work. And
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to the detective movie.
Thank you.
We're in a weird age where every poet wants to be a pulp writer at the same time. I think it's that sense of justice. We want to write about nature, but we also want to write a hard-boiled guy punching people in the face.
Good.
Like it's
That sort of it balances out, kind of,
Well,
it does balance. It does
about
balance out.
corruption, noir is all about corruption and income inequality. It's time for it again.
Mhm.
It's going to be whoever writes the next Thin Man. I salute you. This will be amazing. This is an amazing time to be a writer of any kind.
Mhm.
An interesting time, I should say. I don't know if I'd use the word amazing, but it sure as fuck is interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I salute anyone who's continuing to do it. Thank you so much, Don. And I hope
Thank you.
may have an announcement for the next feature. We might have an open mic next week, or we might have we might have the first of 2 features I'm hoping to introduce for here. and at least one of them is a North Shore invader who you've never met unless you went to the Walnut Street Cafe. And it's a fantastic person who I've wanted to adopt as our very own Stone Soup
Liz
poster
McKim,
child.
by any chance, the jazz poet of Lynn?
It is not any of the older dignitaries, but I guarantee you, if we get him, you are going to love him, and I'm getting him for later in October because we tentatively agreed as we spoke during the Micro Marvel segment at the Salem Literary Festival. So we're in a good spot, and I am hoping to make the announcement no later than Friday. Don't expect it tomorrow. I'm going to be too exhausted, but definitely by Friday. And thank you guys very much. This is where we do the obligatory wave, where it's not only saying goodbye to Don and thanking him and wishing him back soon. We're also waving goodbye to each other. We're waving goodbye to the month of September. Jesus Christ, there's 3 months left to this year. Was that always the case? I guess so. But thank you guys so much for coming tonight. This is a great turnout, and I hope the people who came to read come back at some point. We're meeting tentatively every Wednesday from 7 to 9 online, when hopefully the announcement of a new live show will be coming up. I will keep you posted. Don't ask me any more details. I probably don't know them. But take care. Thank you again, Don. I'll link the book, and have yourselves an
Thank you,
excellent
everyone.
evening.
Good night.
Take care of yourself. Take care of someone else. The show's over. See you next time.